ఉంది సార్ 67 ఉందండి ఉండండి సార్ ఉంటాయి మీ మొబైల్ బ్యాటరీ 83% ఉంది సార్ అది మరి ఎక్కువ కదండి మరి పైగా అది యాపిల్ ఐఫోన్ అది మీ మొబైల్ బ్యాటరీ 83%
చూడు అక్కడ చూడు నోటి
అది యాపిల్ ఐఫోన్
బయట లేడా 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 గేట్ బయట నుంచి ఒకసారి గేట్ బయట నుంచి ఇస్త్రీ నువ్వు సార్ బయటకు వెళ్తా నువ్వు బయటకు బాగా వస్తాను
సార్ నాది జియో పెట్టుకొచ్చాను ఎయిర్టెల్ బెస్ట్ అండి
అదే ఏమని చెప్తాను ఇచ్చానంటే ఇస్తారు ఫోన్ పే ఒకసారి
కరెక్ట్ అవుతుందండి
డబ్బులు తెలియదు అడగాలి ల్యాప్టాప్
యూట్యూబ్ లో కనెక్ట్ అయిపోయింది. ఒక్క నిమిషం 26
రోజు ట్రావెల్
ఇదే సార్ ఇది.
హలో చెప్పమ్మా చెప్పమ్మా
ఇదే సార్ ఇది.
ఫస్ట్ ఇయర్ అయితే
16 minutes ago.
మొత్తం టోటల్ కాలేజీకి అంటే
సిస్టమ్ మీకు ఎంఎస్ ఆఫీస్ లేదు సార్. మీకు నోట్ ప్యాడ్ ఓపెన్ అవుతుంది, ఇలా వస్తుంది. చదవడానికి కొంత ప్రాబ్లం లేదు. మినిమైజ్ చేసాను సార్. మీకు లేకపోతే
చెప్పండి
సార్ చిత్తూరు హోస్ట్ మన
చెప్పండి
కరెక్ట్ 12 మెంబర్స్ ఉంది. ఏం చేశారు?
ఆ సైడ్
గోపిక్ ఫోన్
లేకపోతే
ఒకసారి ఒకసారి జాయిన్ అవ్వు. జాయిన్ అవ్వు సార్.
ఉన్నాయి
ఆడియో చెక్ చేద్దాం.
హెడ్సెట్స్ కనెక్ట్ చేస్తాం. Yes, sir. మేడం కనెక్ట్ అయితే పోస్ట్ ఏం చేస్తాను అమ్మి. లోకేష్ రాజ్ అంటే
Hello. Mama, good morning.
Good morning, good morning.
మీ వాయిస్ లోగా ఉంది. నా వాయిస్ క్యాష్ చేస్తుందా?
వాయిస్ బాగానే ఉంది.
ఓకే.
సో
నాకు హోస్ట్ కంట్రోల్ ఇస్తే నేను స్క్రీన్ షేర్ చేస్తాను.
అవి వేసుకోవాలండి.
హోస్ట్
అలా రిటర్న్ చేశారు.
మళ్ళీ రిటర్న్ చేసి
హలో.
హోస్ట్ మళ్ళీ రిటర్న్ చేసేదాన్ని హోస్ట్ ఇస్తున్నా.
Sir, we are from North India. Could you speak in English?
Okay, we'll speak. It's not yet started. Started by 11 a.m. Indian time. The webinar will be started sharp by 11 a.m.
ఈ నెంబర్ కరెక్ట్ చెప్పాను చూడు అందులోని 1 9
2020
20 21 22
2020
అన్నించి మాట
22 ఇంకా రాలేదు కదండి.
హలో జ్యోతి, గుడ్ మార్నింగ్. జ్యోతి, గుడ్ మార్నింగ్. వినిపిస్తుందా?
హాయ్
ఒకసారి మాట్లాడు. జ్యోతి, గుడ్ మార్నింగ్. గుడ్ మార్నింగ్. హలో జ్యోతి. హలో, నీ వాయిస్ రావట్లా.
ఏంటి? Is it audible now?
Okay, audible now.
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am, you are audible.
Yeah, thank you.
పేరేంటి? స్టీఫెన్ అని వస్తుంది కదా. స్టీఫెన్. హలో, షేర్ చేయ ఒకసారి. స్క్రీన్ షేర్ చేయి.
Okay.
ఓకే. హలో హలో
Hello.
హలో హలో. ఓకే ఓకే. హలో జ్యోతి, వినిపిస్తుందిగా?
Is my screen visible?
ఓకే, విజిబుల్. అదే మమ్మల్ని హోస్ట్ చేయి. మమ్మల్ని కూడా హోస్ట్ చేయ అట్లా.
Ma'am, Garika Uma Maheshwari, could you please switch off your video?
జ్యోతి, హలో జ్యోతి.
సార్ చెప్పండి.
హోస్ట్ మమ్మల్ని హోస్ట్ చేయి. హోస్ట్.
Is my screen visible or not?
Visible. Your screen is visible.
You are not audible to me.
Yeah, it's visible, ma'am.
కదా, వినపట్లేదు.
It's
Your
visible?
screen
అన్నమాట.
visible.
Okay. Thank you.
జ్యోతి, can you hear me? హలో జ్యోతి. జ్యోతి, can you hear me? హలో జ్యోతి.
Sir, చెప్పండి. Tell me.
Okay, audible కదా?
Yeah, it's audible.
Okay.
But it is very low.
Okay. Low వస్తుంది వాయిస్ బాగా low వస్తుంది. హలో,
I think it's gone.
అక్కడ వాల్యూమ్ ఒకసారి రేజ్ చేయి.
Volume is at the highest, mama.
వాల్యూమ్ బాగానే ఉందండి. ఒకసారి నువ్వు మాట్లాడు సార్. శశి ఒకసారి మాట్లాడు. నువ్వు మాట్లాడు ఒకసారి. వినపడుతున్నావు జ్యోతి?
హలో నాన్న, గుడ్ మార్నింగ్. గుడ్ మార్నింగ్ నాన్న.
Hello.
గుడ్ మార్నింగ్ నాన్న. గుడ్ మార్నింగ్.
Good morning, Bhaiya. Am I audible?
Good morning. Wish you all the best. Very good. Audible nana, audible. It's okay. Fine.
Okay, right.
Our principal sir is coming and will also give some blessings regarding the participants of the webinar. Then we shall continue. Okay?
Yeah, sure.
It is a matter of only 5 or 10 minutes only.
Sure.
Thank you nana. Thank you.
Thank you.
జ్యోతి, హలో.
Yeah. Sir,
Okay,
tell me.
good. Right, good.
It's audible or no?
Okay, audible. Okay, please wait 5 minutes.
Okay, sure. I'll be here only.
జ్యోతి, వీడియో క్లోజ్ చేసే 11 కి ఆన్ చేస్తుంది.
Okay, sure. I'm muting my mic also.
Okay. తీసుకున్నాను, చదివితే బాగుంది కదా.
హలో శశి. శశిదా, హలో శశిదా.
Hello sir, good morning. Please wait. The session will be started at 11 a.m.
హలో కృపవారం.
Hi, good morning. మొత్తం అనుకుంటున్నా ఇప్పుడే. Come on. సాయి ఒకసారి.
కృపవారం and శశిధర్.
Good morning all of you. Our principal sir is also arrived. Jyoti. Madam. Okay.
5 minutes కాల్ చేస్తానండి. మీటింగ్ లో ఉన్నానండి. 5 minutes. మాస్క్ పడుతుంది అవును. నమస్తే మేడం. హలో మేడం. జ్యోతి మేడం.
సార్ సార్ గుడ్ మార్నింగ్. బాగున్నాను సార్, మీరు ఎలా ఉన్నారు?
ఫైన్ మేడం, ఫైన్.
ఓకే
స్టార్ట్ చేద్దాం మేడం.
యా సార్, ఐఎమ్ రెడీ.
ఓకే ఓకే.
Shashi Kumar sir, the voice from your side is very low. I don't know how I am. Am I audible properly or not?
Yeah,
But from
everything
your
is
side,
fine.
it is
Everything is
clear.
fine.
Okay, right.
Your screen is visible, your voice is audible, everything is fine.
Yeah, sure. We can start.
All the
I'm
best. All
ready.
the best. Thank you.
Good morning, all of you. Respected management of our college. President of our college management, S.V.K.P. Garu. Secretary and correspondent, Dr.K.S. Garu. Treasurer, Sri Uddagiri Lavkumar Garu. And other respected college management members. Coordinator IQAC, head of the Department of English, S.V.K.P. Garu. Convener of this program, senior lecturer in English, S.V.K.P. Garu. And guest speaker of today's national webinar, Associate Professor of English, head of the Department of English, Directorate of Admissions, Adikavi Nanna University, Dr. D. Jyotirmay Garu, and other faculty members of our college, my colleagues, my students, and the participants connected to this webinar from various colleges in Andhra Pradesh. Very good morning to you all. As far as today's topic is teaching and learning communication skills in English is concerned. So communication skills involve 4 things. Those are LSRW, listening, speaking, reading, and writing. So we want to acquainted with any language, not only in English. So So we must have at least one skill must be with us. That is listening skill. So for effective teaching, a teacher must have all these 4 skills, LSRW. A teacher with good communication make the things easy and understandable. And coming to the learner point of view, among these 4, the learner at least must have good listening skills. After that, reading and then writing. So if the learner has these 3 skills, he must learn any language, not only in English, not only if a student or a learner has good communication skills in English, so that means he must have, I say that he has extra feather on his cap, on his phone. So he must have extra edge by learning the communication skills in English, and moreover, he has more and wider employability capabilities. So with these few words, the qualities the teacher must have and the learner, the qualities should have. So LSRW, I should say that with these few words, I am concluding the opening remarks, and I invite coordinator IQAC S.V.K.P Garu to wish the occasion. Thank you. Now I invite.
Thank you so much, sir. Respected chairman of the today's webinar, our dynamic principal, Dr. S.V.K.P Garu, who also encouraged all the faculty members to organize all these webinars. First and foremost, I give my heartfelt thanks to the President of College Management, Sri Peta Suryanarayana Garu, Secretary Correspondent of our college, Dr. K.S, Treasurer, Sri Odagirala Kumar Garu. They are giving me amicable cooperation to organize seminars or the webinars, all the activities in our college. Was grateful to them. Now, I am also appreciate Department of English, especially convener of the webinar, faculty members of English, Srimati Maliswari Madam, Praful Madam, and Somati Madam. They are also given the good cooperation to the convener to organize this webinar. My sincere thanks to Professor Tirmayi Garu at Nana University, who also gives the amicable cooperation to organize, and she is also participate as the resource person the present webinar. On behalf of the college, on behalf of the department, we convey cordial thanks to you, madam. Now with this present time, that is, English plays the vital role in all walks of life. Everyone knows that one. A student who has the ability to spoken skills is got the good position in his life. That's why now in this present time, all the should learn communication skills, computer skills, and mathematical skills are provided good life. Now, our Jyotirmay madam is also gives the special Motivation lecture to all the participants regarding the communication skills. See, rural students, they are lagging that is the spoken skills. But now in this present time, recently, one girl from Pengonda, she is also that is the rural background, recently selected one reputed company. She is also got the salary 46 lakh per annum. Recently, our college is also felicitate her and parents also. Now in this present time, that the students of the rural, they are able to speak well in spite of some of the students who are came from the some of the village atmosphere, they are lagging behind. For the sake of those students, we have to give special instruction to improve their communication skills. Thank you, one and all. All the participants from the various states, especially one of the participants from Iraq, that is the Busra Madam, on behalf of the English department and our college management, we are thankful to you. All the participants, all the best for in participation in the webinar. Wish you all the best.
For your wishes on this occasion. Now I invite convener of this program, P.V.K.P garu, to introduce our speaker before starting the lecture. Invite P.V.K.P garu.
Thank you, sir. A very good morning to you all. On behalf of S.V.K.P. Science College, Autonomous College, Pengonda, West Godavari District, Andhra Pradesh, India. Management, principal, staff, and students, I extend a warm welcome to you all to the national seminar on an orientation on teaching and learning communication skills in English for rural students, organized by Department of English in association with the IQAC of the college. As you know, English language is a oral language. We cannot ignore English language for our career growth, but it is very unfortunate that in many rural areas in India, even clever students who are studying in English medium don't have proper English oral communication skills. It's all because due to lack of English communication, they are struggling to reach the top position throughout their career. This problem can be seen in real life in most of the major cities. People who are born and brought up in cities have good English communication skills, but other students migrated from rural areas don't have that much of English communication skills. I hope this webinar will provide a good platform for rural students to enhance communication skills in language. In this direction, I would like to introduce today's research person of the webinar, Dr.K.S. Madam. Dr. Jyotirmay has 4 years of teaching experience and 4 years of doctoral research experience. She had her MA in English literature from Andhra University, Visakhapatnam. She completed PGDL linguistics from Andhra University. She did BLSC in 1995 in Dr. B.R. Ambedkar PG Center, Echirla, Srikakulam, and she was a gold medalist in library science. She did MLSC in Andhra University. She was awarded her PhD from Adikavi Nana University, Rajamahendravaram in the year 2016. Dr. Jyotirmay has held her position in various capacities. She worked as district manager in administrative group 1 cadre at TB MPP Vijayanagaram from 1996 to 2000. She worked as lecturer in AML Degree College, Anakapalli from 2000 to 2008. She has been member of the doctoral committee in the Department of English, Adikavi Nana University, Rajamahendravaram since 2017 onwards. She acted as university representative in PCBOS English for framing of syllabus for MA English Literature from 2012 to 2014. She acted as university nominee in UCBOS in English for a good number of colleges in university area. She acted as this representative in academic council for various autonomous colleges. She also acted as Assistant Dean Academic Affairs in Adikavi Nannaya University, Rajamahendravaram from 2014 to 2016. She richly contributed her articles for various reputed journals. She was one of the authors for a textbook of foundation course, that is communication skills and soft skills for fourth semester at UG level. She delivered talks on various issues in a number of national seminars and conferences. At present, she is rendering her valuable services in Adikavi Nannaya University, Rajamahendravaram as Associate Professor of English and Head of the Department, Director of Admissions from 2017 onwards. With these few good words, I feel it's my pleasure and privilege to present Dr. Jyotirmayi to the participants. Now I request my good friend, beloved Principal of the College and Chairman of this webinar, Dr. Ravi Apara Garu, to continue the proceedings. Thank you, one and all.
Thank you.
Thank you, Krupavaram garu,
Of this
Chair
webinar,
of this webinar.
for our introduction of our chief guest, Dr. D. Jyotirmayi garu. Now I invite and welcome to this webinar Dr. D. Jyotirmayi garu, Head of the Department of English of Adikavi Nannaya University, to continue her lecture. Thank you, madam.
Shall I start, sir?
Yes, madam.
Am I audible?
Yeah. Clearly audible.
Yeah. Okay. With due
You
respect,
want to share your screen?
yeah. Sir, am I audible? Like, can I start?
Yeah. Yes, madam. You can.
Yeah, right. Yeah, with due respect to the management of the college, Pengonda College, and administrative officials, especially principal sir who is present here, and Sashi Kumar sir, the IQS director, and head of the department, Krupavaram sir, and all other faculty members of the department and also of the college. And all other participants who have come or registered here from other states, even one international participant also. A warm good morning to one and all. And indeed, it's my pleasure to share whatever I know regarding the language skills or rather communication skills, which we think are the most important thing for in our careers or and otherwise also. Actually, the students, it's being on live on YouTube, I know, and I greet all the students who are interested to listen this and to enhance their skills actually. I believe that I hope my pace of delivery is audible and it is no problem for everyone. Can I get a feedback? Because it
Yes,
is
ma'am. Yes, ma'am. You are audible. You are clear. So you can start, ma'am. Thank you.
yeah, thank you.
Yes,
You.
ma'am.
Whenever I am not audible or if my pace of delivery is very fast, let me know so that I can slow down and we can have a fruitful session. Okay. Yeah. With due respects and my wishes, I certainly believe that this opportunity will enhance or all of us enlighten or to learn new things, because as you all know that there is no ending for learning. And of course, when we are teachers, we are learners always, and we should be. And with that belief, the topic that was given to me actually was this teaching communication skills. And while offering, who will be the participants, I was informed that there will be teachers as well as students. So it's a difficult task to bring both of them onto one platform and to justify, whatever I'm going to speak here. Yeah, anyways, I think I'll be focusing my, this talk actually, may not call it as a lecture, this talk in dual orientation. I'm having on one side, I'll be in orientation to the students and also to the teachers. So it's like if it is an interactive session, it is of much benefit to all of us. It will be of much benefit. So let me just proceed with my presentation. I hope my screen is visible.
Yeah, visible, madam.
Is my screen visible?
Yeah.
No, madam.
Oh, then
No, ma'am, you are visible, but your presentation is not visible.
yeah, then I should get the help of the management there. Yeah, sir. Is my screen shared or not? Shall I? Can I share my screen? Yeah, I think I can now.
1 second.
No,
Yes, madam. We can see your screen, ma'am.
This is a wrong screen. I will just go back. No, I have a glitch here. The meeting controls, I think I'm not getting here.
Those have been transferred to you, madam. Meeting controls have been
transferred to you.
Screen
Screen also has been shared to you.
Share screen option. Shashi Kumar, sir.
Wait a minute, madam. We are sharing screen, madam.
Yeah. My screen. Yeah, meanwhile, I will continue. Actually, the screen is not visible to you, but I'll continue the lecture as such. So as the title goes, it is the orientation. And as I have already told you that I'll be having two orientations towards the students and the faculty. So I just want to begin my lecture with this quote that is on my screen, if it becomes visible. So the most difficult step in the study of language is the first step. This is actually the quote by Bloomfield. Many teachers might have heard his name because he is a very popular linguist, okay, and who developed an approach to the study of language, a behaviorist approach. He believed in that. So I think actually most of us lack this first step. We can name it in any way we want. Let it be the motivation, okay?
Madam, screen is shared to you, madam.
Yeah, can I share?
Screen is shared to you, madam. You can use.
Yeah, sure.
Now you are.
Yeah. Is it visible now?
Yes, ma'am, it is
visible.
visible.
Yeah. So sorry for the delay. Right. So this is the quote that I was reading out just now. And the first step, of course, is necessary. You all know what is the importance of the first step. And to do anything, we need initiation. And to take such initiation, we teachers should be the motivators for the students. So because always the same experience we'll be having in our classrooms, which are very heterogeneous classrooms. No student will come forward to interact and to take initiation, to read out at least, and also to speak especially. So I think if you want to do anything, not only the mastering of communication skills, etc., the first step, of course, is very much necessary. And here, when we come to this area of the language skills or communication skills, I think the first step can be the speaking. So you should start speaking at some point of time. Now, in my classroom also, many students are reluctant to speak. They won't come out and speak out. The main problem is they think that if we utter something wrong, they may, people may laugh at them, the teacher may scold, and also they get demotivated if they get schools, or even if their fellow students are laughing at them. So this is where we should initiate as teachers and motivate the students, of course, to initiate and to take the first step, that is speaking. Actually, at this level it is needed. See, actually we are not at the level of zero, because we are imparting the language skills or communication skills to they say intermediate students or graduate students, etc. So it is understood that by the time they reach this classroom of, say, intermediate or degree, of course they are equipped with the language. So some teachers may have some questions whether they are really equipped or not. We know the situation of our classrooms. So I told you, maybe the classes are heterogeneous classes. So maybe fully equipped students are there, maybe 10% or 15%, etc. And then average, okay, below average. And then, of course, slow learners. This is how we divide the classroom. And when such classrooms are there, of course, the motivating factor becomes very important. See, actually, in the language learning process, speaking is not the first step, because L is kept in the beginning, you know that, LSRW. This listening, I'll be coming to the listening skill later, but here at this stage of the learners with whom we are actually interacting, or the learners to whom we are teaching, of course, are equipped to a certain level. Only thing the teacher has to do in the classroom is to grade the level. So how far they have learned. And of course, we can use the students also to give more inputs to the slow learners, the advanced learners. We call them advanced learners. At least 10%, 10 to 15% or 20% advanced learners will be there in a class. And so we have to use them and motivate them to speak. So always we keep on, postponing this. We are very reluctant to speak in whatever way we want to speak. And there are some obstacles also. There is some confusion also among the students as well as the teachers. So I just want to address this confusion and also the reluctancy on part of these teachers as well as the students, and how leaving out all this, how can we just push ourselves towards the goal and then do something in the classroom for the benefit of the students while learning. Of course, I always emphasize on that. We teachers should be learners always. Okay, so I think we should motivate the students to take the first step, and then Of course, I wrote this also. Yeah, is my slide getting changed? Did it change? Can anyone of you give me response?
Yes, ma'am. It is
Yeah,
changed,
thank
ma'am.
you. Thank you very much. So see, what I have explained now. In a language, the first step certainly is speaking. You others may question me. It is not in the language learning process. From the beginning, I'm telling you, it is only for teaching a little bit advanced learners. Means they have reached a certain stage of exposure to the language and they have some things in their brains. At this level, we have to motivate. And now the speaking is nothing but the buzzword, that is the communication skills. See, everywhere we hear this word, communication, communication, communication. What and what, why and how we communicate. Actually, as a teacher of literature, I encounter some students who come to MA English program thinking that they will learn English here. But they have, they do not have the knowledge that MA English is for those students who could read well. Actually, they should have these skills in advance. Then only they can master the program. But unfortunately, the students are getting misled. They can't understand what they're going to learn in the master's program and they are entering into it. And this generation, say now the students who are there in say degrees or masters, actually this is a generation which has been growing up listening to this word communication, because everywhere it is being emphasized. And mostly, most of our students are the products of English medium schools. And when the medium of education is English, how come we have to focus more on this aspect of communication? It is always puzzling to me, because or people here who are of my generation, nearly 50, they might not have heard of this word especially when you were a student. No one has forced you, or no one has enlightened you that you should learn communication, or especially English communication. And as the chairman of this program, principal sir, was referring that communication is not specific for any language, but we are specific. So we are specific, I mean, we are specific about the communication skills in English language. And the generation upon which there was no, focus was very well communicative. But the generation on whom we are focusing much, of course, they are lagging behind. So where is the fault? So where lies the problem? So as a teacher, we have to find out the problematic areas and address, so that we can help the students to have the solutions, to develop their knowledge levels, to gain, of course, communication skills. As language teachers, we aim to this only. But language teachers are often in a very, stifling position in the classrooms or in the institutions also. So from the above, you have this demand of training the students to have an effective communication skills. And the classroom, of course, is a very bizarre scenario where you find students from different backgrounds and different standards. So how to navigate? The navigation becomes very problematic for the teachers. Yet we have to navigate, and of course the teachers can do it. So this is the communication skills. Of course, the basic thing we should understand that any language, mastering any language, of course, will give you, actually communicating skills also. But there is, because this is a second language, this is not our mother tongue, we are facing problems. So how can we solve this? We'll continue. So let me change to the other. So here actually, to define communication, I'm not very technical, I'm not very pedantic or even pedagogical also. I just want to make it very informal. And for me, when I think about this, I think communication is nothing but sharing. So what we share, I have given you this. So information, thoughts, feelings, emotions, I intentionally kept them and in one line, and then ideas. So basically, by communication skills, we teach sharing information only. Because, the student will be asked in the classroom to share or to tell about himself. I certainly believe that every teacher to introduce herself or himself in the class, and also ask the two students to introduce themselves, will be asking the same question, tell about yourself or introduce yourself, etc. So what is that we are going to share? That is information about me. I am so and so, I am so on, I am from so and so background, etc., etc. This is all information only. And of course, thoughts, feelings, emotions, we may not go to the psychological aspect of that, but we speak out of emotions. And emotions let you feel, and the feeling lets you to think also, to think upon some aspects. And if you have some ideas to execute a plan, or say to do some things in different ways, different plans, etc. So what is communication? Let us not go into the definitions of communication. I have seen in the syllabi prescribed in different colleges, they'll be in focusing more on how many types of communications are there, how communication is defined, etc., and all these things, which becomes a very specialized and technical area of study about communication. I think personally, it helps the least for the students to improve communication skills. So let us come out of the box, and then let us think that by communication, what do you need? What do you mean? For communicating, what do you need? And by communication, what do you mean? And let the students know that, and let the students actually come forward to share whatever they know and in whatever way they can. This is very important, because we should create a classroom atmosphere in which the student feels very free, very much free to express himself, let it be in writing or let it be in speaking. So let us not be very, scold or humiliate the students whenever they commit mistakes, etc. We should not do that. If we start doing that, they'll get demotivated, their morale will get defeated, they will never come forward. Okay, and one more thing is actually, you very much know that sharing is a two-way process, and communication is nothing but sharing. So we all know that for communication, two persons are required, which is like listener and speaker. But most of the times, our classrooms are one way. We are unable to make our classroom, dialogic. There is no dialogue, there is only monologue. A teacher explaining and no response from the students. Of course, we have, as teachers, we may have many obstacles to do whatever you like, but in spite of all that, I'm advising the teachers here to accommodate yourself and try to impart as much as you can, so that the student gets benefited from your teaching. So your text will be there, syllabus will be there. That is all is secondary things. But how far we are able to make the student to speak out in the classroom is what we should aim at. And of course, not only speaking, we should aim at reading also, and of course, writing also. I know that. So this is communication skills. To define it, let us not go into the pedagogical areas and all, but let us make it very informal so that the student will also get interest in that, and he or she will be participating in that. And let us make language learning a pleasure, a joyful pleasure. And this language classroom should be, a teacher should make it a class, for which all students run and come and sit in your class and feel the pleasure of learning the language rather than feeling the pain or pressure. The pleasure and pressure. If we can make it a pleasure in the classroom, of course, they'll be running. And once they are regular to the class, of course, they will learn, no doubt. So let us make it more informal, and then let us make it more, pleasurable and enjoyable, so that students will get attracted to us and to learn the language and to master the communication skills. I heard some disturbance the other side. I think some got.
Shamka.
Sir, someone is speaking. Can you mute?
Video call చేస్తాను.
Can you mute that participant, sir?
Sir, host can make them mute, madam.
Yeah, that's what I'm asking the host. I think they are there or not. Okay, anyways, now it is quiet. Let us, of course, start. So, of course, this slide is very much evident, and because actually, regarding the previous slide, I want to add some more, wherein you see, we teach letter writing and email writing and preparing a CV, and we teach interview skills more. So what is it that we are teaching there? Is it not sharing information? So a letter. So either it be formal or informal. What is there? Something is being shared. Some information is being shared, and even emails, etc. So all CVs also. You are sharing your, the information about your qualifications, okay, and your abilities, etc. To the manager or CEO, whoever it is, to whatever company that we are going to apply the job, etc. So we are teaching all these in the classrooms. Is it not a part of communication? Of course it is, but how far the students are able to write a letter? So we can't ask them, just give a single, formats, or give a few lines and ask them to mug up and reproducing it in the examinations. It should not be done, actually. They should try to write or attempt on their own to write. So even though they are committing mistakes, we should encourage them to write it in the classrooms. So this is where the information is being shared in the communication skills, we say. And how do we share? Of course, you all know this. You are very much aware of this as teachers, the verbal and non-verbal communication. And of course, as I have told you earlier, in the syllabus for communication skills or some soft skills, etc., I have seen the analysis of the non-verbal communication also. Of course, I told you that how far it is going to be useful to the students in picking up the communication skills. So that's a different matter. But for this lecture, I am actually limiting myself to the verbal communication only. So the verbal communication, as you all know, okay, a storehouse of verbs. So let me come to the next slide. So the verbal communication, this is the communication. We are actually focusing whenever we use this word communication skills. Actually, we are focusing on one angle of language learning. It means, in other words, we are ignoring the rest. So I have intentionally given this picture. So the language skills, if it is like the language is having, it is the axis, and 4 angles are there, 4 aspects are there, like LSRW. This LSRW is very much familiar to all of us. We all know that. So, and verbal communication is more important. And how will you develop your store of verbs actually, or the repertoire of verbs? You all know that is only by reading, because you are able to talk in your mother tongue because it's your mother tongue. You are getting exposed to it. So since your birth, etc. Then actually we have to understand one important thing, that as teachers, this communication skills, etc., has become a buzzword due to many of the social, political aspects. I don't want to go into those things actually, but as teachers, whatever be the political conditions or social conditions, or economic conditions, whatever in which we teach, we remain teachers. So we have to perform our duty, and the utmost aim of our, as a teacher is only to educate the student, and we have to. But you all should realize that using this word, focusing more on the communication skills, we are neglecting the rest 3. In the L, S, or W, we are only giving importance to the S, which stands for the speaking skills. But how can you get the S? Neglecting the L for listening or for reading, and of course, writing, W. How can you get that? We are basically forgetting this. So let us reawaken ourselves, reawake ourselves. We should get reawakened to the fact that communication as such, it need not be treated in isolation. We should always contextualize this with the LSRW skills. And it is not it is not enough to define what is LSRW, active skills, passive skills, etc. That is also not needed. We always should devise some, practical learning sessions, etc. And we should keep on exposing the students to many varieties of learning, ways of learning, as well as testing them, etc. So I just want to say that the axis of language depends upon these 4 skills. Okay, and from here I will just move on to the first, actually the listening, which of course I hope you all will agree with me, which of course is a very neglected skill. We hardly listen, and you all know the teachers, the joke upon the teachers will never listen. They will only speak. That's what, naturally people will just crack jokes upon the teaching community. So because teachers get used to speak only, they won't never listen. So this is the funny side, but for the students also, they should listen. Yeah, I have given another picture here. LSRW skills, what, where, when. See, this what, where, when, of course, are interdependent. And upon these 3, actually, our learning process depends. take the what, where, when of my picture and then apply it to LSRW, the 4 into 3, 12 questions we have. The 12 questions of language for communication skills. We have forgotten the word language and we are after communication skills only. But as teachers of English language, we have to go back to that linguistic aspect only and try to understand how important these skills are and how interdependent these skills are. Can we isolate anyone? Will it exist or will it flourish? So the 12 questions are there. Now I'm proceeding to the listening skills. First of all, the students who are listening to this, of course, have to question, are we really listening? Okay. And of course, I'm not leaving the teachers also. The teachers, you should ask yourself, you should introspect. Are you listening? Yes or no? Following 3 questions are there. What are you listening? Or what should you listen? Or what should we listen? I'm accommodating myself into the community because we are all teachers. And I say, what are we listening? Do we really listening? Or what should we listen? In fact, if you say yes or no also, I have these questions for you as students and teachers. It's up to you to introspect. You question yourself. Am I really listening? Where are you listening? And then when? Is there? And, actually, I thought of giving this to the end of the session, but I'm telling you, for all this what, where, when of LSRW, my answer is whatever, wherever, whenever. You have to listen, you have to speak, you have to read, you have to write. Whatever, wherever, whenever. Unless and until you develop that kind of orientation, that kind of attitude, you can't be fluent at any point of time. So this is the time for introspection. As teachers, we should introspect. As students, they should also introspect. Am I listening? Yeah. Then why? Why should you listen actually? And before I go into why the question actually, here I'm giving you some for teachers and also for students, some possibilities you can explore to listen, to make it a habit to listen. Okay, our students nowadays, they listen only to the teacher in the class, nowhere else. It's I can say authentically, it's true of 80% of students, or more than that also. They listen only to the teacher in the class when it comes to this language, English language. So I am now advising you to develop your communication skills. You keep or you develop a habit of listening outside the classroom and explore. We have great speeches and lectures. You have nowadays YouTube. Now we are also online, and the students are watching the YouTube live stream and all. So we know how these platforms, the technical platforms, are being used for many other things along with the language learning, of course the teaching processes also. What you should listen, you make it. No, don't keep listening only to the student, teacher, when she or he is teaching you a lesson, but try to listen outside the class. Great speeches are there. Go to the YouTube. You have great orators. Many, I'm not naming anyone. Whichever you like, whatever you like, you can listen. And then there you can observe one point also. To that point, I'll be coming soon. Yeah, then I advise you to listen the poetry story reading sessions. Online also there are so many. In YouTube, there are many poetry recitation sessions. The African writers recite their poems, and they read out from their novels also, excerpts from the novels. So stories, some people are nowadays telling the stories, narrating the stories, or reading out the stories. And there is a way of reading out a story with the necessary ups and downs of the tone, or intonations, stress, etc. But I'm not going into those technical aspects of the language. Though they are important, we can of course do away with them also. That is what I am focusing more on. So I request all of you, the students, to actually keep listening outside the classroom. And audiobooks, nowadays audiobooks are there. And let us not consider that the audiobooks are only for the blind people. So no, they are not like that. You can listen. And then, of course, to make it a pleasure, you listen to songs in English. Yeah, many, pop, rap, or whatever it is, you can listen. And then news, of course, many CNN, or it is not previously English news, means BBC, that accent, etc. Other channels are also there. Commentaries, running commentaries, etc. See, if you explore, you will get more. I have given you a few things here. You explore there. Now, it's not only for the students. I advise the teachers also to listen to the lectures, the great lectures, or the audiobooks, the news, commentaries, story sessions, citations, and all these. But the teachers also can get much out of this. So, of course, these are the possibilities. So, my question, are we really listening? Of course, many of you now might have arrived at the answer of no only. No problem. Take the first step from this moment to start listening. Because why am I emphasizing more upon listening? So because you'll be wondering, this is communication skills. The orientation class on communication skills. And why am I emphasizing more on the listening skills? You will be, you can understand. So what happens when you listen? There I have. So what happens when you listen? Yeah, there it is. You can speak. So when you listen to a certain speaker or a great orator, of course you can catch up and imitate or emulate. And it's not like a mimicry, but of course we can catch up some phrases. Okay, and we can have some threads. So I see, if you read, actually, if you listen, you will get this. Okay, you will, listening, you can read also. In the LSRW, as language teachers, you might be aware that L and R are considered to be passive skills, not active. So that is regarding the cognitive abilities or the psychological aspects that are involved in the language acquisition process, that they are divided. But I think actually language is an active, listening is an active skill. It can be transformed. It can be transformed to an active skill because it helps you, it aids you to acquire the rest, the S, R, and W. Of course, when we come here, actually, I have some, you know, facts regarding the language learning or language acquisition process that I wish to share with the teaching fraternity here. You all know how a child picks up the language. Okay. Our language learning process begins with listening only, because the child, you might have observed that our grandparents, okay, they keep on talking with the infants, babies of say a few months, etc. Nowadays, mothers have no time. That is another research. I'm not going into that. But the grandparents used to talk with them, converse with them, and outside watching the people. Of course, I, as a mother, also have wondered at my grandmother speaking to my son or daughter when they are, infants, months babies only. But so I once asked my mother, my grandmother, Ma, why you speak to them? Will they listen? Will they understand? She said, yes. Yeah, of course, that's right only. I could understand this only after reading about the linguistic research that has gone into by the great linguists like Saussure and other linguistic theorists, actually. So Ferdinand de Saussure, he says that, of course, language is a social phenomenon. And we all know how we have grown up listening to the language in which we are born into. That means the mother tongue. So actually, we have been listening. We always listen. That is why we are able to speak. Now, this is because this is the mother tongue. And in learning the mother tongue, listening is playing a big role. So that is the reason why the deaf cannot speak. You have the evidence here. So let us not think that the infants, doesn't know anything. Actually, not like that. From the time of the birth itself, their cognition starts in the brain, and then it keeps on evolving gradually. So we listen. Our listening capabilities are the ones which get activated and which work, and that is why our children by the age of 5 or 6 are completely equipped with the language. So this is the mother tongue. Then English is not our mother tongue. That is the first problem why we are not able to speak. So now when listening, you learned one tongue, that is your mother tongue. Well, when listening, why can't you learn the other tongue? The mother tongue and the other tongue, which we need, of course, which after learning you have lucrative offers, career opportunities, etc. Then we should start listening. And this is why I'm telling you that the listening will help you to acquire the rest of the skills. So we should start listening instantly. We should not think that listening is only a passive skill and therefore has no role in language acquisition. It has a major role. We should, of course, the teachers should explore many ways of exposing the students to listening sessions. Then, of course, this is all good, but we have some confusion here. Okay. Of course, the students and the teacher community will encounter a confusion. So what kind of confusion is this? Why are we getting confused? Yeah, you can agree with me if I say this. Why are we getting confused? Confusion regarding the standard accepted ways of speaking, reading and writing. Of course, there are many varieties of Englishes, especially when coming to speech pronunciation. This is the major obstacle I feel when the graduate students are reaching to the classroom. We are actually troubling them with phonetics. Okay. Here, I just want the teachers to have a question for yourself. This, are we after received standard pronunciation? Now, I'm not including the students for this point. It is of the teacher. So, I told you already that the classrooms are very much heterogeneous. To such a classroom, if you are going to teach the IPA with the recorded versions of I, O, all these kinds of vowel sounds, etc., it's becoming a funny atmosphere in the class. Of course, I'm not stating that the IPA is not useful. Of course, it is useful, but the standard of the learner is very much important here. We should keep in mind the standard of the learner. See, actually, this received pronunciation or standard pronunciation or American pronunciation or British pronunciation, whatever, the Indian, actually, nowadays you can see that people are after American pronunciation only. Why? We want to make the or supply the employers for the MNCs. But all of your students may not have interest to go and have a job in MNC. Well, it is, of course, learning, of course, when it is becoming a goal-oriented learning, it demands some things. And of course, it is becoming a problem at one state of, one level, actually. With the graduate level or intermediate level, this is what is happening. Without knowing the standards of the students, we are trying to give them the stress, intonation, received pronunciation, British accent, that, this, etc. Why should we worry really? So let me tell you, the teachers here, the present here, one important point you should actually remember or keep in mind is that the very current research in linguistics or applied linguistics established one fact, that is, in speaking a language, the essential criteria is intelligibility. Intelligibility means what? If I speak, you should understand. If you speak, I should understand. They never say the IPA or the research in linguistics, applied linguistics, etc. I did not establish that you should, follow the American accent or British accent, etc. This is only a political game. This is, the globalization effect. And how the world is divided upon the economics or politics, etc. That is a different matter. We can't go into that now. But as language teachers, I just advise you one thing. Let us not bother our students with the pronunciation. Of course, fundamental rules are there. I will come to that. But let us not bother about accents. Let us not bother about the stress factor or intonation, because we are really creating stress to the students. In the student, if the student gets stressful, feels that all these IPA pronunciations, etc., is very stressful, he will just drop out from the class. He or she will. There are many instances of such, where as teachers of graduate classes or intermediate classes, you might have encountered this kind of situations. So what is the way out? So don't think that the received or standard pronunciation is the goal or aim. There is a certain time when you can teach it. It's not for the beginner. It's maybe if the student is able to express himself or herself very well in a certain kind of pronunciation or accent which he develops, then let him get exposed to the accents, different accents, etc. We can pick up. Easily we can pick up. Let them, ask them to watch American movies, they will get the American accent. Ask them to watch the British movies with the subtitles, they will get the British accent very easily. With a few, days of, exposure to the audio along with the video, audio visual aids are there, and films, series or whatnot, of course they can. And also, whatever I have told you, just listen to audiobooks, or lectures or speeches, etc. There. So now, if you listen to the speech of Chetan Bhagat is a very popular writer, you all know that. And if you listen to his YouTube lecture, you will wonder to see his pronunciation. And if you read his novels, you know how much he writes, and a very popular novelist also. So bestsellers, his works are among bestsellers. So as a teacher for myself, and then to you as teachers, my advice is, let us not bother our students, create stress in them with emphasis upon this accent, that accent, or IPA pronunciation, etc. There is a right time for doing certain things. We should embark upon them at that right time only. So of course, this is what this confusion can be now erased. So when the student enters the classroom, and if he listens to some audios that you are playing, and if he is not able to cope up with that standard, of course, he gets scared. He'll get demotivated. And the next thing is, he'll bunk the classes and he will not learn anything. So let us not create those things for the students. Actually, the linguist to whom I have referred, the Sashur, admitted one thing, while the speech act happens in a community, speech act is nothing but speech events. In the community, people will use the same words, will pronounce the same words, but he says it is similar, but not exactly similar. So approximately similar only. This is to say that the linguistic research says no two human beings will speak alike, because you'll be showing the speech organs. Speech organs with a diagram of speech organs is what you teach the phonetics, labiodental or alveolar ridge, etc., and all those, and say from where the sound should come. Okay, with lips, okay, using your teeth, etc., etc. All these you all know, teachers of phonetics, you know that. But we are forgetting one thing, because we are madly after something. We are forgetting the fundamentals or essentials actually. So the speech act, of course, you produce, you have organs, but the arrangement of our organs is not exactly similar. So the way I pronounce a sound, you will not pronounce. This is, of course, practically is also established. So the sound waves, if you record mine or some others, they will be differing. The wavelength will be differing. If the teachers of, because from literature background especially, you all know the famous G.B. Shaw, the Pygmalion, Professor Henry Higgins, and how he passed Eliza Doolittle as a princess with language, etc. But that's very, of course, that is, we can accept at experimental level, but to go into the inner races of that, no two speakers will have the same wavelength when you record their voices. Why? Because as human beings, we are all unique, independent beings. We are not similar. We are not exactly the replicas. So this is This is true with medical sciences also. In our land, the Ayurveda says that, and of course, even in the Western land, the medical science says that no two combinations will work for all individuals. Though we have general medicines actually. So the same thing is the language. How can you expect 2 speakers or 100 speakers, if you are having in a class, to produce a sound in a similar manner, when no two individual can utter a speech sound in a similar manner exactly? So let us not bother. Let us not go run madly after this catching up of the pronunciation, accents, etc. Once the student reaches a certain level, of course you can, and train them depending upon his career goals, his or her career goals. That is what I advise you, the teachers. And of course, the students keeping on their career goals in mind, of course, should pursue this. So, of course, I now say what is important. This is American, British, Indian, etc. If you like, you can emulate anything, but I'll tell you, I just want you to develop your own unique way of delivering a speech or talking, whatever you like. Of course, the fundamental rules are there. As teachers, you all know that, but I'm just listing out like silent letters, the silent P, the silent T, the silent K, the silent R's. I wonder at the master's levels also, the students are coming to the class without knowing that the P in front of psychology is silent. The P in Psalms is silent. The night in the KNIGHT, K is silent. So let us educate them. Let us focus more on the silent letters. And I've seen students who are pronouncing WOULD as would. You can't get a meaning. And talk. Of course, TALK, TALC. TALC is right. TALK, talk is wrong. So let us educate them the primary things, very fundamental areas, the silent letters, and then the syntax. Of course, mother tongue interference is always there in learning a language. And nowadays, people are advocating for the bilingual method of teaching. Of course, it is, as a coin has both sides, the bilingual method will have advantages and disadvantages also. So let us see, let us check up on the disadvantages and take the advantages, because we can't make a classroom, the direct method of teaching. Direct method of teaching where you will talk only in English. Until the students get acquainted, they start speaking. We have to use different methods, different approaches. No single method is completely sufficient. No single method is completely, a success. Every method has, or approach has a failure or the other side of the coin. So let us make or amalgamate many things and then make our duty successful so that we can impart something to the students. And then fundamental grammar. Nowadays, I could see many students are lacking in the fundamental grammar. And nowadays, we are after the functional grammar. Without explaining what is this or what is, but I advise my experience, Wren and Martin, if you follow, people will learn the fundamental grammar. And I am letting it to my students of PG. In PG also, I am advising them. Actually, I'm making them to buy and to begin fresh. And many of them are successful in writing without any grammatical mistakes, syntactical mistakes. By the time they leave our classroom, if they have passion, they are very much successful. So this is what I want to share regarding the pronunciation aspect. And let us give more fundamental inputs, keeping in view the background of the students. That is what my point is actually. So the solution I have already given you, the heterogeneous classes. So divide your class, divide your students, divide the activities, and divide your focus also as teachers so that you can be successful. Yeah. After my listening and then in general, the confusion that we encounter, we have speaking skills. Whatever I have explained for all the listening skills, of course, comes in here, the speaking skills. Yeah, in between, I'm taking just a break to ask the managers, on the other side, the college organizing team. Sir, how much time I have? Am I crossing the time?
No, madam. No, madam. According to your will and pleasure, madam.
Yeah. But the participants should bear listening to me.
Okay, madam.
Continue. Yeah, I will just
conclude. Within 30 minutes, we can conclude, madam.
Yeah, sure. So now, after...
yeah, ma'am, you can wind up by 1 o'clock, ma'am.
Yeah, sure. So after focusing more on the listening skills and the confusion and that we encounter as teachers and then the students, etc., let us see the speaking skills. Again, I have the same stock of questions here. Are we really speaking? And then I know where and how, what and when. The speaking, of course, is the whatever standard pronunciation, etc., comes here also. So I only say, let us not be after any standard received pronunciations, but let the student enjoy speaking in whatever way he wants. And let us only check the blunders, which we call the blunders in the classroom, so that they can focus more and learn on that. For the speaking, of course, some possibilities to explore in the classroom. So, of course, in the classroom, we should encourage, but it is painful to let you know that even in the classroom, the speaking activity is not happening. Why? It's not only on part of the teachers that we can blame, and not only the student. So somewhere we have to negotiate as teachers and find out the solution for this. Initiate. Let the students, ask them to take initiation, to get motivated to speak, and develop, ask them to develop a habit of speaking out of the classroom also. Here, I have much for the students rather than the teachers. The teachers should take the lead role of motivating them to speak out in the classroom. Okay, and you can devise some ways to let them speak, of course, making them to play their roles, role play. Okay, as we have in writing skills also, role plays, dialogue writing for different roles, etc. You can have some sessions like that. And outside it is for the student. The student, if he or she is passionate, should actually try to explore the possibilities of speaking outside the classroom and then speaking to oneself or with yourself. This is very important. If don't think that speaking to yourself is madness, it's not like that. Because whenever you are trying to prepare for a presentation or try to give maybe participating in debates or some other recitation programs, etc., you should practice, you should speak, you should check, and you should always, of course, listening I have already covered. So listening, you should try to speak and correct yourself, self-correction, whether I am right or not, etc. And you should have some other circles like your religious circles, social circles, okay, or other circles, a linguistic group you can develop, okay. Of course, if it is in the college or in the classroom, the teachers can create some groups and give some linguistic activity to one group and the other groups, thereby they can actually perpetuate their speaking skill. They can speak and have what do you say, that intention to speak and get motivated to speak. The student should actually try to motivate himself or herself and find different what do you say, an opportunity to speak out. Whenever it comes out, you should take out, take it and then speak. And you should create, you should imagine and then start speaking, checking yourself. And then if you are not able to check for yourself, take the help of the teachers in the classroom. Unless and until you are passionate and make it a point that you should speak, you can never speak. Let me tell you this. Yeah. Then after speaking, we have a reading. So reading, of course, again, along with the listening skills, is considered to be very passive, but I don't agree. It can be active. It can be transformed to be an active skill so that it can enhance your speaking and writing skills. So when you read more, you will learn more. So what to read? We have a question here also. No, then is it only prescribed lessons? I don't know how many of you are able reading even the prescribed lessons in full form. No, completely. Nowadays, all students are dependent upon some summaries or some guides, etc., materials, etc. They never have a look at the textbook. You should stop that. If you really intend to speak much, if you really intend to develop your communication skills, of course you should read more. And as a teacher of literature, I think reading literature gives you much. All the necessary tools to learn communication skills you will get in literature. But one thing, of course, I feel bad is that in our syllabi, the portion of literature is getting decreased day by day. And this kind of more focus upon the communication skills, and in that we have different, functional grammar or the communication, what are they, etc., etc., all these, and we are not giving more, what is chance for the students to read the stories or literature, etc., from which they can. We have engineering colleges have a different idea of literature. They take various speeches of scientists, etc., etc. But literature is universal. And of course, and others are there. You have newspapers, you have journals, or other, like journal knowledge books, etc. So many others also. But we are not using. Many tools are there. Only thing is you should explore, you should use it. So as a teacher of literature, I think reading literature more. Okay. So this is what I have, not only reading, but all LSRW skills. I will come to this in writing. This is a very sad plight. We write only in exams. If you are writing only for exams, you will never develop your writing. You should make writing a a habit. You should keep on writing. Otherwise, you cannot get. So, of course, writing in the classroom, outside the classroom, and then to express yourself. So someone writer tells that I just write because I have stories to tell. Stories come out of our lives only. So start writing. Even teachers can also explore many other areas where you can guide the students to take up some assignments out of the box, out of the prescribed syllabus, and then ask them to write. So what gives them more pleasure? What is their interested area, etc. We have to, collect and then motivate them or influence them to write upon that. So while writing, of course, they will learn their mistakes of grammar also, their mistakes in syntax also, etc. So all these are connected. LSRW are connected. The problem with us in the modern day is we are isolating everything. We should not. We should keep it together. So because one nurtures the other. And then I have this. As a teacher of literature, I think reading literature, of course, helps you acquiring LSRW skills. I need not emphasize it more or explain it more because you are all literature people only. You are all teachers. You very well know how you can use literature to teach vocabulary. And when you keep on reading, actually, unconsciously, a correct version of prepositions, using prepositions or subject verb agreement, concord, etc., of course will come without your conscious. So reading of course gets implanted in your mind, and that's how you will learn it. It provides exposure to the complex and simple styles of writing or sentences, writing these simple complex sentences, etc. And how you can give responses in a given situation. Of course, you can learn there in literature, and more and more. Actually, Chetan Bhagat's one novel is there, Half a Girlfriend, like one novel. You can suggest Bhagat's novels to be read by students because he writes in a very simple language. And while in that novel, I encounter one situation where he uses the word or this phrase like, I will catch up. I'll catch up with you. That is what the girlfriend says to her boyfriend. The boyfriend is actually from a very rural background, but he is a very great basketball player or some kind of player actually, or athlete. And he is very, he doesn't know English much, no having very less communication skills. And this word actually catch up puzzles him. Very funnily, Bhagat narrates that catch up means what? Is she going to catch me? Or very funnily, he ponders on that. It is only to give you how simple phrases also are not known to some people because of lack of the reading skills. So reading skills actually will provide you this kind of, many opportunities or instances where you can enhance your learning levels or all LSRW skills put together. So that's what I feel should be. And finally, for teachers, I have this. So you will very much agree with me that when I state a teacher as the emperor of his or her class. So you are the emperor of your class. You can make anything out of that. And you all know a text is only a pretext. So, and you can do whatever. Only thing is you should have that commitment to do that. And we should always be learners. This I have already told you. And for the students, finally, I have this. So be passionate. If you are not passionate about language, you won't get it. And of course, without hard work, there is no, what do you say, success. You need it even to learn language skills or communication skills also. And you should have a certain levels of commitment to continue learning. And then you love the language you want to master. You feel that English is very difficult, leave out that. No language is difficult. If you are getting exposed to a certain, a proper linguistic environment, I say, you are always with that. You can learn it. So with these few words, I'm just concluding so that we can have a few interactions if possible. If you have any questions. Yeah, sir, I'm done. Thank you.
Yeah, ma'am. I would like to ask 2 questions, ma'am.
Yeah, may I know who it is?
Raghav, ma'am, Raghav.
Okay.
Yeah. So we have given enlightenment and informative information about, communication skills, ma'am. It was fantastic presentations. Firstly, I would like to tell you the congratulations, ma'am.
Thank you.
So my doubt is, do you believe communication is nothing but English, ma'am?
No. I told you that also. Communication is not English. Communication is for any language. But why are we emphasizing on English? You know the status of English language today.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
because
It is a myth, ma'am.
an
Actually, it is a
international
myth. Most of the
language.
people, most of the people believe that if someone speaks English, that is the communication skills. That's why I'm asking you. Yeah.
I believe, in fact, I believe a good knowledge of your mother tongue, a proficient speaking in your mother tongue helps you to master any other language. I believe in this.
Yeah. Another point I like very much, madam. You have, presented about accent, right?
Yeah.
So few of them follow the American, the British, and India. So you have given in beautiful way, ma'am. That is, about accent. You have taught us like intelligibility. I mean, everybody should understand. So
Yes.
forget about which accent is worse. So accent is not important. It's a content important. If your content is understandable to everyone, you can follow. So that sentence was really I like very much, ma'am. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you for your feedback also.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Yeah. Who is it, ma'am?
I'm Professor Bushra from Iraq.
Okay, ma'am. Nice
From Al-Mansur University College.
Okay.
Actually, I'd like to congratulate you in advance. And it is my great pleasure to cooperate with you. And I'm so happy to see you because I'd like to visit India during July and August. Okay. So actually, I'd like to explain something about the interference or the effect of mother tongue on the speaking skill, especially from Iraqi point of view. You know, our students face difficulties in pronouncing p and b,
yes,
and b sound, and this is the effect of mother tongue. My first question is how to overcome this problem, how to encourage or to help our students to solve this problem, how to help them to make the, not to interfere for the interference of mother tongue.
Yeah.
Yes, and the second question I'd like to ask you and all the participants here, I'm so happy to be with you today, about the modern methods of teaching you are follow in order to teach. So you know, you have to start from the old-fashioned one, from the grammar translation, direct. Then in Iraq, we adopt a communicative language teaching approach. So which one is new in India? At least I'd like to know, because I'd like to write a paper about the new trends in teaching English, in methods of teaching English as a foreign language. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you. For your first question as mother tongue interference, I have one thing, ma'am. Expose your students more to some audios, let's say from British accent or American accent or some other people. Make them listen first so that then they can try their level best to catch the accent, the native accent, and try to leave out the mother tongue interference. Okay, that is there. So you should expose more them to listening. Okay, that's what I have emphasized more on listening, and then very little bit on the rest of the skills. And coming to the approach or method of teaching, I'm not actually an ELT expert. I'm a teacher of literature basically, but I do believe in the positive effect of following some methods while we teach. But of late in India, we are more for bilingual method. We are not for direct method because we have been teaching through direct method, but we know the result. The result are actually devastating only. We have success rate, say, people who can communicate effectively in English, etc., are very on fingertips. We can count. So, no, as I told you, you might have got my point. No method or no approach is a foolproof method. We can't say that.
Yes, ma'am.
You have to combine. You have to combine.
Madam, may I interact with Bushra, madam?
Yeah, sure.
Yes.
Yeah, Bushra, ma'am, it's nice to have you, ma'am. My name is Raghav from India. Because what you are facing the problem, even I too faced the initial stage of my learning. The simple thing, ma'am, just listen more, read aloud, follow accent, which accent you would like to speak. That's it. But it will take time. It will take time almost for people 6 months or 3 months, but never give up. At least practice 1 hour daily or 2 hours daily. Read aloud, listen more English, and follow audiobooks. That is the 3 tips I can give you, ma'am. All the best for your teaching. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you very much. Good luck. Thank
How
you
about
very
you,
much.
ma'am? Are you safe? Are you safe? Because the war was going on, right? Are you in safe place, ma'am?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Happy to hear,
I'm
ma'am.
a professor in Al Mansour University College in Baghdad.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Happy to hear. Thank you
very much. Thank you.
Yeah. So I hope I cleared your doubts, ma'am.
No. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. Good luck.
Any more questions, please?
Yes, ma'am. This is Krishna Kishore from Narayana Educational Institutions, Hyderabad.
Okay, sir. Nice hearing you.
Thank you, ma'am. First of all, I want to congratulate you over the success of the webinar. It was a very success. Every person can understand. At the same time, I have a small question, ma'am. Because there is no such particular accent to be followed for English, and we have the several languages in India itself. Okay, how to make the students overcome this particular mother tongue influence, just not only by listening to particular topics or like movies or anything, how to overcome. See, in India, we South Indians, we have a different pronunciation when compared to the North Indians. So there might be some particular method, like structural method, by improving that. What might be the best one? Which one?
No, sir. It's not like that. Actually, your mother tongue interference, of course, should be, taken away when you are learning a language.
Okay.
Gradually, the students will come to. Actually, if it is South India, we have in Telugu the vowel endings like vastamu, estamu. The same the students will try to carry into English. Are you coming? Are you going? Like that. So ask the students to stop that vowel ending, which is very problematic. So we have to follow this process of neutralizing the accent. So this if some people are from Oriya, of course they will have mother tongue interference. Or from Malayalam, Kannada, all languages will have mother tongue interference only. But if you are going to be into a teaching career, of course, you should practice to neutralize your accent, leaving out your mother tongue interference as far as possible. That comes with the practice only.
But what is the particular accent to be followed? Some of them
I told you, no, let's not worry about any accent.
No,
We
no,
Indians
because
speak. Of course, American accent is
Yeah.
needed only when you are working in a MNC. But
But we
as far
can't-
as India is concerned, we take British as the standard accent.
but we can't be changing the accent as and when we require that.
What is that?
We can't change the accent every now and
No,
then.
no, you will develop, sir. If you keep on speaking, you will. That is what I think. I told you, no, we are unique human beings, and let your speech or your accent be unique. The criteria is intelligibility, as I told you already. So
Mostly
there is no need that you should practice this only, that only. But let us see that all others who listen to you will follow you, will understand you. That's the best method.
Sure, ma'am.
Okay.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for the wonderful
Good morning,
webinar.
madam.
Thank you, sir.
Good.
This is Suresh from West Godavari district. First
Okay.
of all, I really felt very happy and immense pleasure to me to hear this kind of very informative session. So my question is that actually you covered about all the aspects of listening activity. So my doubt is that how we can able to analyze the student listening ability. Can you suggest any platforms or any websites to
Yeah,
analyze?
you have some, do you have a language laboratory?
Yes, ma'am.
Then you play some audios
Yes, ma'am.
and ask them to listen with concentration, and you can ask questions on that listening activity. That thereby you can analyze their listening standards, whether they were able to follow it or not.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, you can conduct tests also for individual students. You may need different audios, or
Yes,
ask them to listen to a speech and ask them to write down, or a note making session or note taking session. Listening
Yes, ma'am.
only, not reading. Listening to that, they have to listen with concentration and write down note making. Okay, then they have to present it to you so that you will understand how far they are able to listen. You can assess their listening skills also like that.
That means this is, I think, I mean, in my opinion, that is not possible to all the students to conduct one by one. Can you suggest any automatic side of platforms to analyze?
Yeah, actually, we don't have any. I told you, no, I'm not an ELT expert, but I experiment with my own zeal and also to teach the students. But you see, I felt the Google. You say, okay, Google.
Yes.
You say, you ask your students to say something to Google. If the Google is able to catch up, their speech is intelligible.
Yes, ma'am.
And ask them to listen. That you need some sessions, Mr. Doctor or whatever it is, teacher Suresh. You need some sessions, and you have to dedicate some time, because unless a test is conducted, you can't be knowing whether they are their skills are getting improved or not.
Improved or not? Yes, ma'am.
So maybe in a semester, at the most you can have 2 tests. That's enough, because we conduct mid-semester exams anyway. So make it a point that you can have a test at the mid-semester. That's way we can test actually.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you very much, ma'am.
Oh,
Thank you.
welcome.
Participants, any more?
Hello, good afternoon, madam.
Good afternoon.
Madam, any nice audio books are useful for student communication for learning English? Availability of any audio books, madam? Please name them.
Audio books as such, for some texts, even novels, I find, audio books, even in Kindle apps, you can search there. I don't have any special suggestions, but you can explore.
Madam. Also novels, Chetan Bhagat, some are
Yeah.
important.
Mm.
Thank you, madam.
Okay, sir. Welcome.
Good morning, madam. Am I audible?
Morning. Yeah.
I am A. Srinivas Babu, Vice Principal and Head of the Department from Gayatri College of Science and Management, Srikakulam, madam.
Okay.
So I have only thank note. I have no doubts because already our friends have raised many questions. But
Okay.
what I come to know that what methodology we use, that is whether it is reached to the students or not, that depends on the stakeholder, faculty, environment. These three things influence the people very much as far as my experience is concerned. Even
Yes.
accent also, whether it is relevant accent or irrelevant accent, we cannot say.
Yes.
As far as the things are concerned, whether we cater the needs of the students or not, that's the only important thing. I thank you very much, madam. I thank Kumar sir and Krupavaram sir and principal of S.V.K.P college, all the organizers, team of organizers. They have conducted wonderful webinar, which is very, very relevant to the present situation, especially to cater the needs of the students, because most of the students are not coming forward to simply speak English. We are talking about quality. We have been talking about and discussing all these things. But first, we make the student to stand on the desk. That's very, very important, because most of the students they hail from villages. First, we have to avoid that fear. Definitely, we talk about other things, audio cassettes or something like that, madam. Thank you very much, madam. Thank you very much for giving this particular opportunity. So we are very grateful to you for your wonderful presentation.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Bhaiya. Thank you. Thank you, my dear participants. Madam, Jyotirmai, madam.
Yes, sir. Sir, I'm here only.
Oh, you are requested to give the host to ours, madam.
Yeah. Let
Thank
me
you,
check
madam.
how I can give. You can disable me from that side, I think.
No, madam, it's not possible to us. You have to hand it over to us.
Oh. Just wait. I'm checking for it.
Okay, madam.
So host controls is not visible here, sir.
Okay, madam. Everything is fine, madam. Nothing to worry that one.
Mm-hmm. Now I can stop sharing also. Yeah, it came, no, actually.
Okay, madam. Thank you, madam.
Okay.
Thank you, my dear participants, for the patient listening. On behalf of S.V.K.P and Dr.K.S. Raju Arts and Science College, Penugonda, once again, I thankful to all the participants, especially Bushra Shadun madam from the Iraq. Special thanks to her to participate and register here. Yes, first and foremost, I convey my cordial thanks to Professor Jyotirmai madam for giving the wonderful lecture regarding the how to enable the skills regarding the communication skills, the LSRW, everything very keenly, and she is also explained very elaborately. Thank you, madam. On behalf of management, principal, staff, and students, we extend a cordial thanks to you, madam. Now, that is some of the participants from the nook and corners of all the states, they are also joined here. For all the participants, we are extend a cordial thanks to each and everyone. We are already posted the.
Excuse me, sir. Excuse me.
Yeah, madam.
I'd like to say, I'd like to see you when I visit India.
So whenever you pay visit,
I'd like to cooperate with you. It is a matter of cooperation between Iraq and India.
Sure, madam. Whenever you pay visit to India, contact Shashi.
In July and August, I'd like to stay for 2 months.
Okay, we shall
in
provide
Pune.
everything to you.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Everything we shall provide you, madam.
Thank you. It's my great
Wonderful,
pleasure.
wonderful, madam. Wonderful.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Definitely,
Believe me,
madam.
I'd like
For
to see
your
you. Thank you very
sure,
much.
Sure, madam. Sure, madam.
Thank
Definitely.
you. Thank you.
Any help you need that is in India, after landing India, please phone call.
Yeah,
We can
yeah,
provide
yeah.
everything to you. Huh?
Yes, yes.
Thank you, Bushra
Thank you
Shadan,
very
madam.
much. Thank you. Thank you.
Inshallah, inshallah.
Thank you. Inshallah.
Thank you, my
Thank you
dear
very much.
participant, for giving the wonderful opportunity. Especially Jyotir madam is also providing the the wonderful time with us, and she's also explained everything to us. Once again, on behalf of the management, staff, and principal and student, we are convey the cordial thanks to the madam. Now it is the time for the proposing the vote of thanks. I would like to invite one of the faculty members of our English department, Prafulla madam, to propose the vote of thanks. Prafulla,
Ladies and
I
gentlemen,
cordially invite you to propose the vote of thanks.
good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of S.V.K.P and Dr.K.S. Arts and Science College management, principal, staff, and students, I propose a vote of thanks at the successful completion of a national webinar on an orientation of teaching and learning communication skills in English for rural students, organized by Department of English in association with IQAC. At the outset, I express my sincere thanks to Dr. Y.V.V. Apparao Garu, principal of the college and chairman of this webinar, for his opening remarks and blessings. I am profoundly thankful to S.V.K.S. Garu, head of the Department of English and coordinator IQAC, for elaborating of this webinar, for his elaborating this purpose of this webinar. I cordially thank Sri P.Y. Garu, Department of English and convener of this webinar, for his keen interest in arranging this webinar, which is very useful in this present scenario. I make a special mention to express my humble thanks to the resource person of today's webinar, Dr. D. Jyotirmai Garu, head of the Department of English and director at the Kevin Anaya University, for for sparing her valuable time to deliver her inspiring and thought-provoking lecture. I express my thanks to Srimati P. Malleshwari Madam, Department of English, for her kind support. I also express my thanks to Kumari K. Sumati, Department of English, for her support. I am thankful to Sri M. Sai Ramgaru for extending his technical support throughout this webinar. And finally, I express my deep sense of thanks to the college management, principal, staff, students, and in particular, participants from various places for extending their wholehearted support and monumental patience for the successful completion of this webinar. Thank you, one and all.
Thank you, Prafulla. Thank you so much. Thank you, all of you. Thank you, one and all.
Thank you. Thank you.
My namaskar to
Thank you. Goodbye.
everyone.
Thank you. Thank you. Goodbye. Thank you very much.
Goodbye, all of you.
All the participants are requested to fill the feedback form, and you are able to get your certificate within minutes to your mail.
Thank you very much. Thank you. I'm waiting for my certificate.
Okay, madam. Thank you, madam.
Thank you very much.
Jyotirmai, madam.
Like to say something. Once again, thank you. Thank you, one and all, especially to the madam. Thank you for your sparing your valuable time for us to spend with us to share all information relating to the communication skills to the rural students in English language. Thank you. The session is closed. Before closing the session, I would like to remind you that you have to fill the feedback form and submit the same so that the certificate will be generated. Wish you all the best. Have a good day. The session is closed. Thank you very much.
Thank you, madam. Thank you, Nana. Any problems are there regarding the mistakes? Are there any spelling mistakes of your names or any college names? You can contact us. We can send another certificate to you. Thank you. Srinivas Babu from Srikakulam. Bushra madam, thank you once again. Nana, Jyotirmai.
Thank you, Bhaiya.
Thank you, Nana. Thank you. God bless you, Nana, for your kind cooperation.
Thank you, Bhaiya.
Thank you. Thank you, Nana. Thank you.
Thank you.
Congratulations, sir.
Thank you, madam.
Sashi sir, Krupa sir,
God
congratulations.
bless you.
So
Thank you,
your
madam.
internal
Thank you so much.
Thank you, madam. Thank you.
Okay, sir.
So much,
Thank you.
Neeraja madam. So much.
Thank you.
Polarao garu, thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Malula Venkata. Yeah, thank you. Recording of this. Okay. Vashra madam. Madam.
Yes, yes.
Yes, indeed. If you want any help that is in India after landing India,
Yes.
definitely contact us,
Yes,
madam.
yes.
We extend our
Yes,
support.
yes. When I arrive India, I'd like to see you. I mean, to make a
Which
visit
place
to
which place you would
cooperate
like?
with each other.
Okay, madam. Which place you would like
Thank
to?
you very much.
You pay, madam. Could you tell me which
Yes.
place you would like to pay visit? Hyderabad or the Secunderabad or
Yeah.
Nizamabad? Which place you would like to visit, madam?
Pune, and I'd like to visit Delhi also.
Pune and Delhi.
Yeah.
Okay, okay, madam.
But if you want to give me the address, I'd like to visit you. Don't worry.
Okay, madam.
Yeah.
Pune to our village, it takes at least the 6 or 7 hour journey, madam.
I know.
Yeah.
Yes, yes. Yeah, yeah.
Thank you.
It's far away.
Thank you,
Thank you
madam.
very much.
Thank you for your love and
Thank you.
affection.
Thank you.
Thank you, madam.
Thank you very much.
God
Thank you
bless
very much.
you.
Thank you. Goodbye. Thank you. Goodbye.
Goodbye, madam. Goodbye. I could close the certificate.